All right, all right, all right. Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure your seat and tray tables are in their upright and locked position, that your seatbelt is fully fastened, because the college convocation is ready for takeoff. Yep, the school year is starting. And if you want to know why I picked today, it's because I could create the illusion that there's a long line of cars just waiting to see the dean's convocation. Now, if you don't know, this is move-in weekend for the dorm, so today, tomorrow, and Saturday, there are at least 3,000 every day moving into the dorm, so it's going to be a little crazy around town, but it's happening today. But I'm John Fleming, and as Dean of the college, I truly want to welcome you all today to today's college convocation. This is a kickoff to the school year, and it's a celebration of our success. And as you will see, there is a remarkable degree of excellence in this college. I am immensely proud to work alongside of you in these endeavors. And up front, my main message to all of you is thank you. Truly, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am blessed to work with all of you. We do a tremendous job educating over 5,000 students every year. And as you'll hear throughout this presentation, the remarkable degree of excellence that you guys are doing as faculty, staff, really leading the way in higher education in fine arts and communication. So let's get into a little bit of the program. Just want to do some introductions. Noel Fuller down in the corner, he's our director of the Academic Advising Center. He's not here today, but Carl Boysen had retired. Noel took his place. Advising is technically not in the college anymore. It's run centrally of it, but they're still directly affiliated with us. So Noel and his team is still right next to me in Old Main. And Noel and his team have done an excellent job picking up, filling the big shoes that Carl Boysen left behind. We also have, not on the screen, but Clarissa Rodriguez, our events and publicity coordinator over there. Yeah, let's hear Clarissa, because at 10:18, the first batch of the College Report will be arriving. They're stuck on I-35 right now. But Clarissa is the mastermind behind the College Report, the college news, and many other things that you see throughout that make our college look good. Clarissa does that. We got Kevin Gilly, assistant to the Dean Outreach. We got Lisa Herman, our senior administrative assistant. Lisa's back over there. We have Sonia Kraus, our budget specialist. I always tell Sonia 2 negatives make a positive, because right now I'm in the red on our M&O, so we just keep spending. That becomes a positive. Robert Stiers, our box office manager, is unable to be with us today, but Robert is amazing. We have a new Evans Auditorium. We're going to have a new person join us, Steve Baccaris. He's going to be great to work with. Steve will be starting with us August 31st. He's coming to us from Stephen F. Austin. He's got a 20-plus year career in working in things related to Evans Auditorium. So I think you guys will really enjoy working with him when he joins us on the 31st. We also have Candice Mangelo, our operations manager for the Evans. She's back in the She is back in the booth, and Etan Saylor, our lighting and audio supervisor, is also back down there. And then the research coordinators, again, research coordinators, they're not on the screen, they are in the College Report. Roger Davis is our post-award person, and Nina Rotan is our pre-award research coordinator. Again, research coordinators were centralized. Just like advising was centralized, research coordinators were centralized under the Office of Research and Sponsored Programs, but Nina and Roger are the two that are assigned to work with us in the college. Roger just joined us over the summer on that post-award. Nina joined us at the start of last fall on the pre-award. If we look at the chairs and directors, all the people you'll see up there, Director of the School of Art and Design, Beth Thomas. Our new chair of the Department of Communication Studies, Kristen Ferris. Our Director of the School of Journalism and Mass Communication, Judy Oscom. He's not with us. Joey Martin is our Interim Director of the School of Music. And Joey is finishing up a gig in Scotland, and then we'll be returning to campus, returning to the States on Sunday, and Monday morning we'll be back here. But then we have our Associate Dean for Student Success and Curriculum, Lori Fluker. And we have our Associate Dean for Data, Enrollment, and Infrastructure, Daniel Carter. And I got everyone on that. I also want to thank some of the other faculty leaders, the Faculty Senate, our lead of the Faculty Senate. Oh, I'm sorry, that name's not on my list. Oh, there it is. And, you know how none of us are ready for the start of the school year? That includes me. And Sarah May, Director of School Theater threw me off. I have Joey Martin listed twice from his old associate dean thing, so I got thrown off. Anyways, okay, we're good on that. I do want to, again, our faculty senate, the chair of the faculty senate, Lynn Ledbetter, is here. Where's Lynn? Yep. And then we also, other faculty on senate from the School of Art and Design, our Senator Dimitri Tetin. And our new senator from the School of Theater, Dance, and Film, Kevin Gates. So again, we actually went from 2 senators to 3 this year. And then the liaisons for the other departments should be elected in the near future along the way. We also have a bunch of new-time, full-time faculty and staff. These people are hired via searches for promotion-eligible positions. We have other colleagues that are here on one-year positions that may grow into full-time positions. But I'm going to introduce these. These are ones that you will see in the college report that are these new permanently funded positions that are with us. So we've got some kind of started like maybe in September because they came in after my last college report. But we have some staff and some faculty. Staff members over in the School of Art and Design, John Tennyson, our woodshop technician. And our photo lab manager, Ariana Gomez. In communication studies, we have a new tenure track professor, Meredith Turner. Is Meredith here? And she'll be in the area of interpersonal communication. In the School of Journalism and Mass Communication, we have a new assistant professor in digital media innovation, Danny Yihan Jia. Danny will be joining us in January. We also have a new associate professor of practice in public relations, Christina Roach. And she will be primarily working at our Round Rock location there. We have a digital media specialist staff position, Elizabeth Hayek. And over the summer, we have a new administrative assistant too, Jamie Ziegler. School of Music, we have 4 new tenure track positions. Assistant professor in string music education, Elizabeth Chappell. In opera, assistant professor, Fenlon Lamb. Back up there. Assistant professor in voice, Aaron Short. All right. And assistant professor in trombone, Aaron Zelkind. All right, now there. We also have an assistant professor of instruction in voice, Daniel McGraw. An assistant professor of instruction in music education, Crystal Berner. And our new administrative assistant too, working with the instrumental studies, Chase Carnahan. And in the School of Theater, Dance, and Film, we have a new assistant professor in acting, Ernie Gonzalez. There's Ernie. Other duties as assigned. You're coming up, Ernie. For those who don't know, actually, Ernie was a student of mine 20 years ago. Wait, 23 years ago, I think it was. So he's had a very good professional acting career and then decided to move into academia. So he won the job for that one. We also have a tenure track assistant professor in film, Wei Bing Law. Wei. An assistant professor of instruction in film, Jackie Perez. An assistant professor of practice in film, Andrew Bujalski. Andrew. And what's interesting, if you go online and stream, what are the 25 best movies to watch on stream on Amazon right now? One of them is Andrew's film. No. Pretty cool. And then we also have a staff position film program administrator, Alan Michnoff. Alan. Again, we have a number of people that join us on one-year temporary positions as well. But again, to all of you, I do want to give you a sincere welcome. I've always said, I firmly believe that the most important resource we have is the human resource. It's the people in this room, and so you are now part of that Bobcat family. You are a part of what makes this place special. I truly, truly hope that you find Texas State to be as much of a professional home as it has been to me. I think this university and this college are a great place to work. I am confident that your presence will continue to make it an even better place to be. Before we continue on, I do want to acknowledge some of the unsung heroes of the university. Well, any staff who are in attendance, could staff please rise? Yeah, no, I had staff appreciation lunch about a week and a half ago or so. And again, there is so much university bureaucracy that you can't believe some of the stuff that staff have to put up to try to make things happen. And I say that there's a contract I've been working on with people since January. It's still not executed. The year before the box office, we started in September. No, so I know, Gina, I'm with you that we kind of like beat our heads against the wall. How and why? So I just want to say that staff are really working as hard as they can to support you. And some of your frustrations are frustrations they're experiencing as they encounter the roadblocks that the university puts up in front of us, that we keep trying to find a way, and then we keep trying to lobby. Could you please fix this issue and things like that. So I do really appreciate all that the staff has done here. I expressed it directly to them about a week and a half ago, but together, faculty and staff, we make a huge difference in the lives of students. I also want to recognize people who have retired. They're not, they retired, which means they're still under contract till August 31st, so I want them here. Rescind that return. No, I do want to recognize, because again, these are in the college report, but again, you can see there's a lot. Grant Mazak, a wonderful faculty member in music, 32 years in a thing. Again, and I spoke to him directly. Again, I know the impact these faculty have had on individual student lives, sometimes in ways that you guys don't know. And again, I know people that Grant personally helped get through to the finish line, that if he wasn't there, it wouldn't have happened there. We got Maureen Keeley, 31 years. Again, I spoke at Maureen Keeley's retirement reception back in May. Again, another wonderful colleague that I've worked with very closely through, again, since I've been here 27 years, I worked very closely with Maureen on many things, and she is already enjoying her retirement. Holly Sterling, another legend here, another 31 years in communication design. And Bill Meek and I were reminiscing about the impact that she's had on the communication design program and the impact. And what's interesting, this summer we had to do these new student orientations, and day 2 was just about the college. And Lori Fluker and Daniel, so we put together, and we got some alumni to do things. And one of the alums who graduated over 20 years ago, who was a VP at a company, he highlighted some of the assignments that Bill and Holly had put together and how they were still impacting his career 20 years later along the way. So Holly, again, is doing. The boss man himself, Carl Boysen, 29 years in advising. Carl's doing a little part-time work with Texas A Global, but again, I said he had big shoes to fill. Again, I'm very appreciative to Noel and his team. Again, another great music colleague, William Todd Oxford, after 24 years. Again, he's a phenomenal saxophone player, a phenomenal teacher, a phenomenal colleague, and Todd retired there, and we will miss him. Somebody else retired. Marion Hauser, our retiring chair of communication studies. Again, a 23-year career, and Marion, again, really stepped in at the end. She was near the end of her career, and then she stepped up. We had a vacancy to be the chair of the Department of Communication Studies, and so she decided that was how she was going to finish her career here. And again, later today, we will have Marion's retirement celebration this afternoon there. Another advising sower, Deborah Sowards, 20 years on it. But what you can see here is our 2 heads of advising both retired, and so Carl and Deborah. So again, there was big shoes to fill, and things have changed in here. And then another glue member of the Journalism Mass Communication staff, Andy Sambrano, after 14 years on it. And again, so each of those, again, what you see up there is what's in the college report. They all submit. I ask them to send a certain number of words, and they submit kind of their bio, their farewell to it all. Oh, we got something. Hey, give me one of those. Just Well, I'll be talking more about the College Report Research Edition a little bit later there, but that's why I keep referring to things that are in here. This is what I'm talking about for those who don't know. Next, we're going to look at tenure and promotion. And the formal awarding of tenure was codified in 1940 by the American Association of University Professors. Texas State, as we know, and I'll talk a little bit more about this, we are on the cusp of becoming an R1, which is a very high research spending and doctorate-producing university. And as we move to an R1, the scholarly creative expectations for earning tenure and or promotion have steadily increased. And the faculty who earn tenure and or promotion this year truly reflect those high standards there. In addition, in recognition of the important contribution made by faculty of instruction, in 2024, Texas State created a pathway for these faculty to earn promotion. So we now have that faculty of instruction rank. And what's interesting, we had previously recognized it was, in the past, it was just a process. We submitted them things. This group that we'll be introducing and congratulating right now is the first group that kind of went through the formal review process. And to clarify, for this promotion to faculty of instruction, to whether it be to associate or full, it's not just about years of service. I've done 5 years or 10 years or whatever. It is more than just teaching. What is the service? What is that contribution brought to it? And so the people that went through this year were the first group in our college to go through that process, and they all excelled. It was truly an impressive group of people. And I remember sitting around the room because there's 21, and I'm listening to the people. I assigned people to review it, and I'm listening to everybody kind of talk about what they discovered in the file. I was going, wow, I knew they were good, but that's even better and more detailed than I realized on some of these things. So this is truly a remarkable group. I'm going to have you, if you receive tenure or promotion, if you could start to gather down here to save us some time, because there's 21 people I need to recognize. So if you receive tenure and or promotion, if you could start to move down there. And we're going to start by doing those who are promoted to Associate Professor of Instruction. So that's what I was just talking about. And so Kevin's going to read some names, and we're going to do a promotion to Associate Professor of Instruction. This first group, I'm just going to congratulate. Clarissa's going to take photos of me congratulating the person, and then we're going to take a group photo at the end. So, if they are ready.
Okay. Good morning. We have Courtney Cohn with Art and Design. Okay. Claire Hendren from Art and Design. Thank you. Okay.
Is Claire here? Is Sarah here?
Sarah Heinerson. Debbie Norton, Art and Design. Say. Debbie Norton from Art and Design. I did.
Debbie?
Ran Renfro, Art and Design. Oh, okay, no cookies for Art and Design. They had a poor turnout today.
We already did the group photo.
Michael Villarreal.
Is Michael here?
Michael Villarreal.
He wasn't going to be here.
Okay, that's right. Sarah Shields, Journalism, Mass Communication. Whoop, whoop. That's it, yeah. Okay, promotion to Professor of Instruction. We have Esteban Hinojosa.
For those promoted professors, the same way faculty promoted professor on tenure track, they receive the university's Jefferson Cup. The same goes for those who are promoted to Professor of Instruction. So, Esteban, here. Congratulations.
And then we have Alicia Hanguia here. Art and Design. And then we have Suman Remner, who is not able to be with us today. Jessica James, Journalism, Mass Communication. And Matthew Holzner from School of Music. Yep, that's right, band camp. This one time at band camp, it was so funny. Then promotion to Associate Professor of Practice, Dan C., Journalism and Communication.
And I'll take the group photo, because he danced the only one.
Promotion to Professor of Practice, Jenny Bushhorn, Journalism and Communication. Then Journalism Mass Communication, Dino say it again.
Dino. That's what we say, Dino.
Catchy, yes. Kieki, okay, thank you. Kieki, okay, good. Tenure and promotion, Jasmine Austin, Communication Studies.
Tenure, it's a glass paperweight. But I don't know what you can do with the computer, so you put on it.
Merrick Mueller, Communication Studies.
She always wants a paper with that digital age. You'll see, it's a glass.
It's a heavy box. Alex Scherer, Music.
Our newest associate professor.
And then promotion to Professor, Casey Seitz Brown, Theater, Dance, and Film. Sorry. I'll go back, sorry. I don't know who messed that up, it wasn't me. We're going Casey. They did a Seitz Brown about. Now, Clay Craig, Journalism Mass Communication. And then the incomparable Jacob Harrison, School of Music.
No, Clay, I switched it. Do it in alphabetical order. I didn't look at what the slides already had. Like, can we just do it alphabetical? Brown, Clay. Anyway, we got it all sorted out there. But again, the standards. Again, people are really rising to the standards of an R1 university. What we did for tenure promotion and the instruction practice ranks, it was truly an excellent group of 21 people that truly earned their promotion there. Now let's hop on to some major awards. So again, we got a variety of faculty awards, and you can see up here we've got banners for those who have won the university awards. And first, we have one of the major awards, Cindy Royal from the School of Journalism and Mass Communication. Cindy. Cindy won the Minnie Stevens Piper Professor Award. This program dates to 1958. It's a statewide program, and Cindy is only the 4th member from the College of Fine Arts and Communication to earn this recognition. So Cindy, you're on. And they'll be recognized at other events by the university, is where they get other stuff and things like that. But it's important that we recognize them here today. We also have a Regents teacher, Mark Paz. And this is in 2018, the Texas State University system created the Regents Teacher Award. 26 faculty from across the system have earned this award. 16 of those 26 are from Texas State, and out of those 16 of Texas State, 8 of the Regents teachers are from the College of Fine Arts and Communication. Wait right here, because we also have the Presidential Excellence Award. So Mark, what we have to do here is your banner. We have to do another award for you, and so you are also the Presidential Award recipient for Congratulations. So Mark had 2. Mark, do you want a second banner? We got you. So again, the Presidential Awards. We also now have a Presidential Seminar recipient, Andy Park. Andy. The Presidential Seminar is one for scholarly creative activity. Andy is our 8th recipient of the college. One recognition earlier this week from the public. Hey, wait up. We also have a University Distinguished Professor, Michelle Mann. And while this was at press being printed, I learned that we won a 5th award, and that is Nico Schuler is our first recipient of the University. And this is a newer award. Basically, the university people recognize that so many of the presidential scholarly creative tend to go to the scientists who do the big grant stuff and like that. So about 5 years ago, the university said, no, we need to have a separate category to make sure that those in the humanities get their proper recognition. And Nico is the first recipient from the college to receive that award. But what happened, as Nico knows, I said the day before I went on vacation, which as this was at press, I learned he was going to win, but the president hadn't told him yet. So I was like, I can't say anything. And so once I got back, Nico shared the good news. Like, yeah, I've been sitting on that for a long time. Congratulations. One of our various university award winners. Woo! Judy, you're throwing everything off. Mark Paz keeps looking at you. Yeah, and so, okay, next we have our, next we're just going to quickly recognize the years of service. And so when I read your name, you could just stand to be recognized, and then after this ceremony, there's a table outside that will have your certificate and pin for your years of service. Lisa Herman will be working to make sure you get yours on that way. Lisa and Sonia will be there to assist on that. But the following years of service comprise 505 years of service to Texas State. Last year was 400, so we really upped the effort this year. Now, if we look at, again, just if you could just stand to be recognized, For 10 years of service, we have Clay Craig. We also have Mike Devlin. We have Kate Dentino. We have Larissa Janiga. We have Jules Buck-Jones. We have Sean Justice. We have Daniel King. Kelly Laws. Morgan Casino. Mark Paz is here. Oh, he left. Somebody gives an award, he leave him. Okay, Molly Sherman. And Holly Maselka from our design. Those are the 10 years of service. Those with 15 years of service from the School of Music, Bobby Lopez. From music, Ludin Pedroza. From art and design, Gina Tarver. Gina, it says so here, 15 years. Okay, 20 years of service. Art and design, Michael Guardiola. Wait a minute. Michael, I saw you eating breakfast tacos. Okay. From theater, dance and film, Eugene Lee. Also from theater, dance and film, Nadine Mozan. From music, Dimitar Minov. From journalism and mass communication, Judy Oscom. From journalism and mass communication, Cindy Royal. From music, Michael Thompson. 25 years of service. From my office, Lisa Herman. From music, Nico Schuler. From journalism and mass communication, Daniel Schumacher. 30 years of service. From journalism and mass communication, Harry Bowers. From music, Christine Gonzalez. From music, Lynn Ledbetter. And 35 years of service, Ann Burnett. That's right. Only 5 more to get the clock. Or it's available on Amazon for $39.99. No, seriously, again, thank you. 505 years of service, again, a remarkable legacy that you have all had, and I'm very grateful to you. And again, you're featured here in the college report, even you, Gene, 15 years. Gene, I sometimes run into these questions. When did I start? Who did this start? And who's up for what? So, all right, that concludes our event. Oh, wait. The protocol of dessert bars and breakfast tacos, you have to listen to me ramble for the next 35 to 40 minutes. So, let us move on to our speech. All right. Again, I keep referring to this college report. There's the QR code. I'll also send out a link to the digital version of it. Outside, there are about 100 copies out there on this research edition. Again, there's over 100 faculty that are featured in that publication. So you can pick up one on your way out if you'd like. Again, that's the QR code, and then I will also send a link to the digital thing like that. So, let me grab my cheat sheet here. All right. Yeah, so the rest of this is sort of my annual State of the College address. We'll also try to give you some important general university information. And as we know, things continue to change very quickly here. And I've said things here, and then 2 weeks later, it was already out of date. Or things that came up last year that we did not know about at this thing that then became major things like the curriculum review that hit us a little bit later. And so this is kind of my chance to kind of go. And I know last year was a tough year. But there's also a lot of good things that have happened. And so I don't want to diminish the stresses and challenges that we've been facing in recent years. but I'm an optimist by nature. I try to channel that positive energy into helping students, faculty, and staff succeed. So I want to highlight some of these things. And just, I was here till 11:30 last night working on the speech, and I needed some candy to get along the way. And so my Dove bar said, put the positive vibes out there. So, your dean leads by college rappers. No, but I do want to, again, many of this is going to be here, but just to give you an idea, again, it was a tough year, a lot of headwinds, but despite all those headwinds, here's a sampling of highlights from last year. Last year, our public relations team won the national championship. Where's the PR here? This is the first time we won the national championship, and there was actually 3 finalists. Texas State also came in 3rd. So we took the 1st and the 3rd spot on it. Our mariachi team won the Vargas Championship again. And one of the interesting things about national championships is, and I started this last year, I got the president noticed that when athletes win a championship, they get a championship ring. So we started last year is the same thing. So I got my advertising national championship ring, I got my mariachi championship ring, and this year, I'm going to get a public relations championship ring and another mariachi championship ring. So Tom Brady, I'm coming for you. No, but it is a cool thing that we have these events that the president decided that, hey, if we celebrate athletics, we should just celebrate these academic accomplishments. But again, these are national championships where you're going against 50, 60, 70, 100 plus schools along the way. So both those happened. Our advertising team took 3rd in the nation last year. 3rd. And yeah, so this was my championship ring. What's interesting is advertising won the bronze medal in the country, and we were a little disappointed because we'd won the whole thing the year before. But also just give you an idea of the context of it. The year before we won the national championship, what school won it? UC Berkeley. I think you've heard of UC Berkeley. They won it. Then Texas State won it. This past year when we came in 3rd, University of Oregon won it. And all the schools in Texas, UT is so frustrated because they cannot get by us. This year we were in opposite pods, so UT actually got a chance to go to the national finals as well as us. We finished way ahead of them at finals. So again, these are things the students won that. A theater had 5. What? I knew that, Mike. That is correct. And this event is being live streamed across the country. It is. All right, a theater had 5 national finalists in the ACTF competition, which is a national thing, and they had 2 lighting students that won very prestigious national fellowships. University Star students won 25 awards in the state from TIPA and 28 regional or national awards. Debate, we're going to applaud each of these things, but again, Debate once again took state and placed 3rd in the national online forensic with 3 students winning gold medals, so 3 students there won national championships. In the National Forensic Association National Championships, the in-person one, for the first time ever, a Texas State student won the top overall speaker. And communication design students won 16 awards in the Graphics New Talent competition. ComDesign was again named GDS USA's list of top design schools in the country. Again, details and more that every year there'll be a section year in review of student awards, and those are where you can find the details about these and some other awards. But again, a lot of incredible student success last year. Faculty, again, some of the things that we did last year's faculty. Sean Justice is part of a $2 million National Science Foundation grant that he and his team won. Cindy Royal is co-PI on a $2.3 million National Science Foundation grant. Grayson Lawrence is co-PI on a $2.4 million grant. Becca Fox has won multiple United States Forest grants. Also featuring the awards, Mike Devlin and Kevin Jenkins won regional and state Teacher of the Year awards. In music, Holly Whistler and Jackson Wilds are about to have Fulbrights this year in international locations along the way. Paul Sanchez in music is a finalist for 4 national awards. I have to correct that because last night he learned that he already won one of those 4 national awards that he's a finalist for on it. We've had some amazing films made. Brian Poiser had a film that debuted at the Tribeca Film Festival that 50 students worked on it. They went to attend it. We just filmed a major film here. I can't say who's all involved with it, but Mariska Hargitay of Law & Order SVU is one of the producers on this film. A faculty member here did this film. About 30 students worked on the film, and a couple of prominent actors, actresses are in that film. We're keeping it a little on the down low until it's ready for release. But again, some amazing projects that were going on. Some of the events we hosted last year, we had Blue Lapis Light aerial dance, doing an aerial dance off the side of a dormitory. We hosted Sean Colvin here, which many faculty attended that one. Sean Colvin's collection is now in the Whitliff collection there, so we partnered with them on that. I used to say that post-COVID, nobody had caught up to a live attendance at events except for Taylor Swift. Well, this past year, we actually caught up to pre-COVID attendance records. And pretty much live things that has not been happening across the country. Well, this past year, music, dance, and theater all either had their best year or their second best year ever as we caught up to the trends from pre-COVID, things like that. And one of the things that helped us on this is I worked with the president's office. The president offered gift tickets. So basically students get free tickets to virtually any performing arts event, and basically the president pays for it on it. And he has agreed to fund that program again this year, things like that. So it's a thing that... So it directly helps our programs, but it also brings the arts to more of the general student population. And again, and those of you doing 2313 class, like, there's no excuse for them not to attend an event because the president is paying for their ticket to be it, because it's part of their education. And so overall, we got a lot of really good things that are going on. And again, for the college report, a couple years ago, I did an alumni edition. Last year, I did the champions edition. This year, I did the research edition. And my intro letter kind of explains the process that I used to go about do this. And then this publication, its audience is donors, and it's also university leadership on it. And in one of the conversations I had this summer, I realized that some people and some units only see me when there's an issue or problem that needs to be resolved. And I think that masks just how immensely proud and grateful I am to work with all of you. And that's one of the reasons I did this research edition is the quality of the scholarly creative work in the college is exceptional. The range of activities is fascinating, that what people are working on. And so the intro from the dean kind of sets the stage, and then the different intro profiles kind of give you highlights of what people do. And again, all this stuff is just highlights of what people are doing along the way. So it is a cool, fun publication to see what's all out there. So now we will talk about 20 topics. And so you can kind of settle in there. Kevin? Kathy Supple took that photo of me. What? No, this is a different trip. Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about the run to R1. So the next time the Carnegie classifications come out, Texas State will be an R1 university. We have long exceeded the... we have long exceeded the research expenditures. We just exceeded the doctoral degrees awarded criteria. And the window for turning in data closes August 31st, so we've met all the data. So we turn the data in, and then the next time they actually announce it, we will be part of those R1s. But just to give you a little perspective, in the United States, there are about 2,900 four-year universities, so just under 3,000 four-year universities. Of those, how many are currently R1s? 187 are currently R1s. And so we, again, will be joining that rank. In the next round of the classifications, there will probably be others that move to R1. But I would guess in the next round of classifications, anywhere between 200 to 225 universities will be classified as R1. Out of those 2,900, Texas State will be in that group. Now, a little more perspective. In 2015, the state of Texas had 4 R1s. Not counting us, there are now 16. And of those 16, 9 are public universities, 3 are private, and 4 are medical health things. The most recent non-medical university was SMU. We far exceeded their research expenditures on them. If you want to know the publics that are R1s, it's UT, it's A&M, it's Texas Tech, it's the University of Houston, it's the University of North Texas, it's UTEP, it's UTSA, it's UT Dallas, and it's UT Arlington. I partly want to say this because when we think of R1s, most of us tend to think of UT, A&M, Ohio State, Florida, Michigan, Wisconsin, things like that. More realistically, we need to be thinking of these non-top 100 as more of our comparison peer groups for R1s. That said, I think most of our programs, particularly at the undergraduate level, are better than these top 100 R1 things. But as we're looking at comparison, when the university starts to look at salaries and workloads and other things like that, they're looking more at that second 100 rather than the top 100, partly because of finances and other things like that. But we are moving up in all of these different rankings, and we will be in R1 next time that goes. For what does it mean for us as the college? Again, for things such as tenure and promotion, our college is in really good shape. Again, as I said, provided we have standards and provided we have credibility. And currently with upper administration, we have standards that they respect and we have credibility. That everybody that I said that we've put forward, they've been no doubt, they've had no questions. Because if you put somebody forward and they have a question or doubt, they will contact the dean and say, hey, could you explain this? We don't really get what is it. But the letters that personnel committees are writing, the letters that chairs and directors are writing, the letters that the college council are writing, the external letters we're getting, everything is saying that no, our faculty are really delivering. And kind of the other change started last year is that for tenure and promotion, we do need 4 external letters. So those are the things that we move. And as we move to that R1 more fully, the president and provost do look at the credentials, particularly they look at the external letters. Are they meeting the things? And those criteria for professors. So we want as strong of outside letters as possible. But again, part of the reason I chose to do this research edition is that it shows to upper administration that we already have an R1 caliber of faculty here. So there we go. So we are in good shape there. Another topic. You may have heard about TUF, the Texas University Fund. This is one where the university gets more funding. This happened 2 legislative sessions ago that this was funding available to Tech, Houston, us, and North Texas. And the first go-around, Tech and Houston got a full share, us and North Texas only got a half share. And so we got about 22 to 25 million. Well, this last legislative session, so within those first 2 years, we met the criteria to get a full share or more of a full share. So the legislature had to put more money into that endowment. So this past year, we got about $50 million from TUF. And just to clarify, how did that go? 30 million of that basically goes to help pay for faculty salaries. Any faculty member on tenure track, you've got that 25% of workload that is your scholarly creative activity. That is now being funded by TUF, things like that. And that's one of the reasons that we talked about last year, I'll reiterate again, that with waiver code 21, we have to put in the justification of how you're earning that research credit. Partly it's because we will be audited at some point. Are we spending this TUF money the way we are saying that we are doing it? And so we put in that justification of it all. And in the future, we should be able to continue to actually get increased funding out of TUF. Because one of the things, we are still behind on the number of doctoral degrees awarded, because the full share isn't completely a full share. It's based on this formula of research dollars and doctoral degrees. And so we are graduating more and more doctoral students, so we should move up on it. And also because of it's an endowment, its amount should grow over time. That basically, particularly if the market is good, it grows better and stuff like that. But the TUF started with a $4 billion endowment. Now it's a $7 billion endowment. So those things should go up. One of the other things where we are benefiting from both this TUF money is the money. The university also puts money into something called the Research Accelerator Fund. And we've had art faculty get money from this. We've had film faculty get money from this. We've had music faculty get money from this. That basically it's money that they will put towards projects. Many of our projects don't cost as much of, say, some of the science ones. But as long as we provide some funds, me, the chair, director, or whatever, things like that, the university is coming forward on these things. I think partly, again, we all express our concern that as we become an R1, will we just become a STEM university and stuff. And the university is sensitive to that, and I work closely, as I was talking to chairs and directors, a couple people in the research office and the Accelerator Fund. And so if we've got a fine arts project that can meet the criteria of the Research Fund, they are really been very helpful in trying to help us fund that. We've also been trying to provide more support for subvention fees, for digital rights, for, say, art history publications, different things like that. So we recognize that these R1 things do require more resources, and there's ways that we are working to make sure that our college is part of that picture, because again, we are very well respected within it. I mean, literally, I just had my summit review, and the dean, provost said, "Your college is in very good condition, very good shape." So I was like, "Okay, good." And so as we move to this R1, we are well respected, we are well positioned. Talk a little bit about enrollment. Again, the freshmen coming on in, our freshman class will be about 9,000, between 9,000 and 9,200, which is about the same as last year, maybe slightly less than last year. Overall enrollment is up to 47,000. I'm going to explain that thing. Last year we had 44,500, so we had about 2,500 more students than last year. Interesting demographic. Last year, I told you guys that black students had increased 24%, that 2 years ago, the number of black students at Texas State was 4,400, and it went to 5,500. And that 10,000 student difference was the largest raw number of any group track. This year, black student has jumped even more. This year, black student enrollment is now over 7,000. And Eugene, when you started here, wasn't the whole university about 7,000? we joke about it, what the size was. But that is a tremendous thing. And again, the 1,600 more black students than last year, again, is the largest raw number change along the way of those that are tracked. So again, we are a very attractive place to students of color. You look at all the demographics and things like that. So despite any of the headwinds, we keep educating all students, and we are seeing a difference in these demographics. If we look at international students, a couple years ago we were at 950, then we were at 1,450, last year we were at 2,000, so we kind of been on a steady increase. This year we're gonna be at 2,150. The increase is not as large as other ones, but if you're paying attention to any national trends, international enrollment is way down. And University of North Texas is in serious financial difficulties because they were over-reliant on international enrollment. So the fact that we went up is actually a good sign of it all. And again, at the same point, our number of new masters for the university as a whole is down, and that is largely related to international students as we track these things like that. In College of Fine Arts Communication, we'll have just over 5,000 majors. For the second straight year, we're the only college that is having a slight decline. In enrollment numbers, we're considered flat. If it's less than 1%, it's considered flat. But the reason we're going down is partly for a very good reason. We are graduating more students each year. Last year we had 1,300, was the most degrees awarded. This year I don't have the final numbers yet, but I know we'll be very close to it. But again, I had a meeting with the provost, and at the spring graduation, ours was the largest ceremony. And he goes, "You'll probably have a decline in enrollment." I said, "Yeah, but for a good reason." And we're up to, our four-year graduation rate is up to 46.5%. The university is at 40%. So we're at 46.5. The university's goal is to get to 45%. So we're already ahead of the goal. We're already ahead of the university's 6-year goal. At the same point, we still want to move to 50% and 60% on 5-year and 70% on these things. I think we're at 66, 67% on 6-year. So we want to keep moving in that direction. Freshmen and transfer this year, we'll have about 1,130 freshmen and transfer, plus about 90 new grad students. So again, about a quarter of our students are new this year in the college. So we want to make sure that we provide a welcoming environment to these students. You've heard the president talk about a target of 50,000, but I want to explain what that really means. You know, I said we have 47,000. On the Texas State campus, it's somewhere between 40 and 41,000. So there's 6,000 to 7,000 students that are somewhere else, that are in Round Rock or in AOP, things like that. And just to give you an idea, if you remember a couple years ago, I talked about AOP is the Accelerated Online Program. I said think of it as a parallel university where it's a different demographic. When that program started in fall of 24, there was 150 students in it. Last year, there was 1,900 students in it. This fall, there's over 3,600 students enrolled in it, plus another 700 that are strictly in an online program. And partly the university is doing this to also help fund other things and to help things. They're distributing about $1.5 million to departments because there's a profit share on AOP, things like that. In our college, it's primarily communication studies and journal and mass comm. I don't have I try to get the update numbers. Over the summer, we had about 50 in the undergrad JMC, about 50 in the undergrad, 50 in the MA Strat Comm, about 70 in the undergrad Comm Studies. I was talking to Daniel yesterday. He said the MA Strat Comm's about 100. They're going to give me some updated numbers soon, but it is starting to grow. And then some of those revenues will flow back to the different departments on it. Music will also get a cut because I gave the AOP 2313 to music, and so they will get some of that, things like that. But one of those things, so as the university keeps growing, we're adding things at Collin College, we're adding things in Mexico, all these things, and all these other little numbers will start to grow and increase. So when you see that 50,000 thing, Texas, the campus here will be that 41, 42,000, and much of this other growth will be in these other locations, things like that. But overall, the university is in very good health. We are in very good financial health, things like that. At the same time, we know that we cannot continue to grow at this pace. This is one of the challenges of it all. is in the past, we planned on kind of doing a tuition increase periodically. Well, the governor's pretty much told all universities it's been a tuition freeze 2 sessions ago, last session. This session, we expect to hear it again. And so we expect through the end of the decade that there will be no further tuition increase, that these will be sort of government dictated things that go along the way. On the other hand, we also tend to think of ourselves as an inexpensive college. Of the 37 public universities, a couple years ago I told you we were like the 4th most expensive. I think we're now the 2nd most expensive. Only UT Dallas is more expensive than us, with the caveat that UT and A&M do differential tuition, so an engineering student at A&M pays different than a liberal arts student along that way. But so again, we are already kind of at the upper level of what the state of Texas tuition things goes into. So we know we can't grow indefinitely. So what the university has been trying to look at, we're trying to stay ahead of the curve, because as Tom knows, we read the Chronicle of Higher Education, we hear about all the budget issues at different universities, and so we're trying to stay ahead of those things. Now, one of the things the university did was grade DI. Some of you are familiar with this. I talked about this at one of the donuts with the deans, things like that. And this is a national consulting firm. And the university kind of partnered with them, trying to get ahead of the curve, try to look for efficiencies. And so they've asked, every unit looked at all their degrees, and they're looking at all the staff and things like that. Kristen Ferris and Daniel Carter worked with me closely on this. They were facilitators, chairs, and directors. Right now, as far as I can tell, do not expect any major changes to the college. We've had different meetings. We haven't heard much from them, but we've kind of gone through everything. And some of the changes we've already made. We've already cleaned up some of the degree things like that. And some of you, art world, may know that the University of Syracuse, they had this big thing about how they changed all these degrees and stuff like. They actually did what we did a couple years ago. Instead of having studio art ceramics, studio art painting, all those different things, they just lumped them all into one studio art degree, which is what we did also, because it removes those low enrolling degrees from the picture, and overall it's a healthy picture there. So right now we have not heard things. At some point this fall we're supposed to get more information as deans and chairs. I will share that if there's anything that does come different, but again, Daniel and Chris have been in the meetings with me, and we really haven't got a sense of, they haven't brought up anything to me of, hey, you really need to take a look at that, or things like that. Again, there may be some small things, but right now we haven't gotten that, and they are supposed to, again, give us more information. Because one thing they were doing was kind of a more economic analysis. We haven't got that. We have not received the official reports from GradeEI, but I do know one of them they will say is that we are understaffed. The preliminary part is that we do not have the staff that measures up a university our size, and we don't have the faculty that fully measures up to the university our size. But the staff issue is much more critical than the faculty ones. From when I was talking to the provost on some of the draft reports he'd seen, that he wanted more fully aligned to that. Unfortunately, one of the bigger impacts, and music faculty are aware of this, is the Big Beautiful Bill thing. Our Master's in Music program is, the university, there's 3 degrees where in the near future, students will not be allowed to take out a federal loan. Master's in Music is one, History is another one, and there's a rehab one on it. Things like music education is actually okay, because music education meets the economic crisis, but those other performance ones, things like that, and it turns out 50% of our students in those programs take out loans. I shared the basic information with the Music Personnel Committee over the summer. Again, this is a thing, I've had conversations with all the fine arts deans across the state, and we are all in the same boat. UT, SMU, everybody's got that same thing of they're not meeting this earnings threshold. It does limit the impact there, so things like that. GradeEI did encourage us all to look closely at all of our degree programs, and they gave us state and national data for consideration. So we've been looking at that, and again, I will update you if there's anything significant. And again, I'm going to do those donuts with the deans. That will become a topic if there's something significant related to it. Some of the new degrees in CoFAC that are coming forward, we got our AOP in game design. That will be a game design and development. That will be approved very soon, and that will then go into effect in January. We also have our PhD in communication. Unfortunately, there is a slight delay with this. I just found this out earlier, a day or two ago, and I forwarded that to the people on the committees. Our PhD will not be reviewed by the Board of Regents until the November Board of Regents. It was supposed to be, I was told it was going to be reviewed at the August one. There's been a change in the system office of who works on these things. One of the Vice Chancellor, Hayek, is now present somewhere else. And so as they transition in the new person, they want the new person to look at it. And so my understanding is that the Board of Regents will look at our PhD and then we'll think. The difference means, it means that we were hoping to start the PhD fall of 27. It means we will start fall of 28. The one change advantage of that is we would have more of a runway for a traditional recruitment process of it all. Because Board of Regents has to review it, then it goes to the coordinating board, they do a desk review, then they do a site visit, and then you have to have the SACSI review. Most of the Texas State PhDs in the past get approved in May, and you start in August. So you don't really have a chance to really recruit students. This one would give us a little bit more of a thing, but it was a disappointment, but I just learned about it, and I just shared it with the writing committee and knew that I'd be speaking about it today. This year we're submitting a non-AOP, mostly aligned master's in theater education. We're working on a new Round Rock degree. Journalism Mass Communication is greatly expanding their sports media production. We're working on, with athletics, we're doing a tailgate show there. We've worked on some Spanish language broadcasts with athletics. We're looking at a Spanish broadcasting degree that we partner with World Languages and Literature. We are also looking at some internal sports media degrees, and we're very close to creating a sports leadership, athletics, and media center. The SLAM Center, this is a collaboration between our college, Health and Human Performances, and athletics. And again, we were getting some funding from Texas State Global and things like that. But as we're moving to the Pac-12, we are embracing it on the academic side as well. And Journalism Mass Comm is working on the Mark Menderson, and others are working on a lot of these different projects, things like that. And I mentioned last year we completed major changes to our Gen Ed that allowed us to lower most degrees to 120. And again, we're hoping to try to continue to improve four-year graduation rates. This is going to lead to another big thing. Gen Ed in minors. A university just changed that minors, no one can require a minor along the way. Except for our teacher cert programs have a required minor in education because every other education program double majors in it. So we do have the minor in education, but other than that, you cannot require a minor. At the same time, some of our minors and courses should still be very appealing. Again, there's certain ones that we offer should be very appealing. This also means that students, instead of having required 18 hours, they have those as electives. So again, some of the courses we offer should be appealing to non-majors here. Another big change that is going to happen through this legislation, it'll take a couple years. The Higher Education Board is in the process of reducing the Gen Ed core from 42 hours down to 30. There's a task force of 14 people. Sharaman from our university is one of the people on it. They looked at proposals for 36 hours, 30 hours, another 30 hour, and another 27 hours. They've pretty much settled on this 30-hour thing. Again, and Shraman would not reveal the exact details, but we pretty much deduced most of it. The 09 category will basically go away. And so COM 1310, you're mixed in there and in the 01 on it. So it will reduce some that are required to take it. They can choose to take it in the 01, or again, that is an excellent elective for anybody to do it. Most likely the fine arts one will preserve, will stay, is everything that we're hearing. Again, this is actually going to go through the legislature this year, but there's already the momentum to happen, which means it'll probably be approved at the legislature at the end of this session, which would be May, which means the law will go into effect September 1, and then we'd all have a year, and so this would go into effect fall of 28 for 29. But we will be looking at these things. But at the same point, that will mean that we do to make sure we get all our degrees down to 120, which means music ed, we'll need to look those down to 120. On the other hand, it may give music an opportunity. You have some one credit classes that probably should be 2 credit classes as we try to squeeze everything. So we'll have a little time to work on thinking about it. We will be moving to 120-hour degrees with no required minors along the way. Basically, what the state is trying to do is they're trying to reduce barriers to graduating 4 years, which particularly happens if you switch majors or transfer. Also, by the way, we were the only public in Texas that required a minor. So again, we were actually the outlier compared to UT, and to all those other R1, everything like that. To require. Basically, we're trying to reduce barriers so students can graduate in 4 years. But also, if you think about what the university is really doing is, we're actually moving to more of a traditional liberal arts education, where students have a lot more flexibility in what they take. And again, I would say that we've got some classes that there may be some music classes that students wouldn't take because it didn't fit their business group. Well, now they have elective hours, some dance classes, some art classes, things that they may want to take. And again, in some of our political leadership minors, other minors may still be very popular. Students can still choose to do the minor. It just can't be required, and then they'll have more latitude on these classes. It also opens up study abroad, that some programs, study abroad really doesn't count for degree. Well, now it's 6 credits towards the 3, so that opens it up. And also resolves some financial aid issues, because right now you can only get financial aid if it's a degree applicable course. Well, now anything before 120 hours is a degree applicable course. So these changes will be coming. The details will be hashed out, but they are definitely coming. Again, if we look at, last year we created the AI committee. Daniel and his team came up with some recommendations. We shared that with chairs and directors. We're going to leave it up to units to decide how they want to implement or not implement some of the recommendations from the AI committee. The university is trying to become a little bit more an AI-forward university. They've looked at University of Florida as some examples. One thing they'll be doing is they'll be adding for courses AI designators, and it's different tiers of what your course does or does not deal with AI. And the AI committee will be working with units on courses that you want to put into that AI designator things. The other committee we created last year was the Coursera micro-credentials. That pretty much got put on hold last year, that the person we hired to help oversee that ended up having to oversee that whole curriculum review. So I expect that Coursera micro-credentials things will pick up steam this year, and so Daniel and his team will be working more closely on that one. Searches, our goal for tenure-track searches, we're going to have 5 tenure-track searches plus the director of School of Music things. Our goal is to make sure searches are posted by or around September 15th at the latest. If you're ready before that, great. But we want to get them by or around September 15th because, again, we want to make sure we get our top candidate. And this past year, we had 0 failed searches, and in every search, we hired our top candidate. So, again, if we get ahead of it, we can do those things. And we had robust pools for all of our searches there. Searches are confidential. Again, search committee makes a recommendation, PC makes a recommendation, chair or director makes a recommendation, and then the dean makes the final decision. And one thing I will say is pretty much all searches, when somebody retires, I've made it that virtually all searches are going to be at the assistant professor rank rather than higher. And I will listen to a case if it's tied to a leadership position where we may absolutely need the higher thing. But one of the reasons I'm doing this is a couple years ago I talked to you about how the university was going to move to this RCM budget model and this whole thing like that. Well, the university put that on pause and scrapped it, but they're allowing us to use some principles of RCM. And what's happening now is when faculty retire, in the old days, you just surrendered the full salary back to them and then you just hire the replacement. What I've been able to do now is I take those salary things and then I repurpose and repool it. And so by making the searches at assistant professor things, this past year I was able to get most units back what they lost in their COVID M&O cuts because I repurposed some of the salary savings. I said we're understaffed. I'm trying to use some of the faculty salary savings to hire additional staff things along the way. And so I've been playing this game every year of calculating this, doing this, and the thing is we've been able to kind of partly rebuild our M&O that we hit, and we know how much costs have gone up across the board and try to build those staff things. And so that's why I've kind of left it at the assistant professor so that I can repurpose those dollars across the college and things like that. And again, this is, RCM is not existing, but again, they're allowing us to do these things in a way that we couldn't in the past. And then also, for example, this year, Evans Auditorium for the first time will have some M&O money and things like that. And so, we've been able to do some things on these things. Personnel committee, again, just a reiteration that the change we made last year. Each personnel committee traditionally was just the tenured faculty. Last year we clarified it that you can have up to 4 non-tenure line faculty on it, 2 at the instruction rank, 2 at the practice rank. For each rank, the colleagues elect one of the members, and the chair or director appoints the other member from that rank along the way. And again, it worked effectively last year, and it'll vary on those what things they can vote on. Like the non-tenure line still do not vote on tenure and promotion and things like that, but otherwise they are a fully functioning member of the personnel committee. And again, they did a lot of great work last year on that college review group of all of our non-tenure line moving forward and things like that. Grades. Just to repeat, make sure all grades need to be in Canvas. This is so students know where they stand, and so that that they have access to any. Also, we need the grades in Canvas also so that we also have access should anything happen to a faculty member. Unfortunately, health issues do sometimes happen to a faculty member, and if you just got it scribbled in a grade book somewhere, we're stuck. So it's really for students to know where they're at, but then also we do have to sometimes help step in on it. So grades are all in one location, things like that. And then it also comes into play that I may get a grade appeal after somebody's left the university, or an incomplete that after they've left the university, and we can actually go back and get the records there like that. And faculty need to enter grade, some type of grade by week 4. This is the early alert system that the university uses to help reduce the percentage of freshmen who go on academic warning. Traditionally, 20% of freshmen ended on academic warning, below a 2.0 after the first semester. With the early alert, we got it down to 17%. That's still way too high. A lot of it is students not showing up and things we can't control, but we want to get that early war grade in there. And again, it shouldn't just be freshmen, it should be all classes that have some type of grade. And grades should be up to date by midterm. 8 weeks is October 14th. The withdrawal date is October 22nd. So it's important that we do have grades up to date by mid-October in case it is a student should withdraw from the university and things like that. So we want to make sure where they stand. Because historically, the biggest complaint I would get is, it's November and I have no idea where I stand in the class. And that's not fair to students. I give the analogy that if you're up for tenure and promotion, and you're in year 4 and you have no idea how you're doing, that's why we give you feedback every year on the reappointment thing, to know how you're doing and things like that. So again, we want to do that. And again, helping students succeed, two of the biggest things we talked about as chairs and directors is having a physical presence. Students make a connection when you're physically present there in class, office hours and things like that, and timely response to emails and grades and things like that, so that they know where they're at, they know that there's a response to it. So presence is important. We've talked about this in the past. Presence is important. Human interaction is important. Connectivity is stronger in person. This is both for us as faculty colleagues as well as faculty and students. So we want to develop that shared culture. And now we'll go to our fall break. In the spirit of fall break, I'm just taking a slight pause here because I got to wrap things. No, part of why we are starting classes on Wednesday this year, we're starting earlier, is the university has added the fall break. And fall break is October 8th and 9th. It is almost exactly the midpoint. And so staff, it's a skeleton staff, people work remotely, but it is no classes, and it is our fall break for the first time, and they're planning on continuing that. I already kind of mentioned this, waiver code 21. We started this last year. Again, we just have to add the justification for why faculty are getting the research, things like that. And when you turn in your annual evaluation, you turn in a short statement of what you plan on working that year. This is all we implemented this last year. And again, this is also tied to that TUF and that audit. Again, late career faculty may decide for a 4.4 over doing research. And again, historically, we've had many strong contributions from people who taught a 4.4 rather than do research. The electronic media, Ray and Tim did a lot great to build that program. Live Oak Hall is partly due to a theater faculty member who gave up research to do a 4.4 to really develop the film program. So again, if you're later in the career and you don't really want to do research, that is a very viable path to take there. Legislation, again, the last 2 sessions had the big DEI-related ones. Senate Bill 17 in 23, Senate Bill 37 in 2025. Last year was a big deal that faculty senates were dissolved. At Texas, Lynn can talk about it. I guess technically we're called the Faculty Advisory Group or something like that. But it still functions very much like the Senate traditionally did. Unlike UT and some of those schools, well, they don't have it at all. They just kind of wiped it all out. And we actually built it slightly larger this year. But Lynn has been working very closely on some of these Senate-related things. Again, and last year, obviously, that big curriculum review came in as a result of it. We did lose 2 topics courses. We lost 2 topics courses out of it. I'm talking to those units to see if there's a way we might bring those back in a different format, different guys, and things like that. As I mentioned, anything that is happening, it is not, our Board of Regents is not an activist board. I've talked closely to a number of the Board of Regents. They're very pleased the way things are going. So, and our chancellor's actually really not an activist. Our chancellor very concerned a lot about public art. I don't know any other chancellor in the system that gives a damn about public art, but he's very involved in it. But he recognizes the value of it all. So a lot of the stuff that is coming is from higher than chancellors, all I will say. On that thing like that. There is that continued, they did create that new ombuds person at the state related to DEI, SB 17F3. There's a Chronicle of Higher Education article about it. About 70 matters have been referred to him. 65 of them he dismissed without even looking into them. And of them, he looked into, there's only a couple that did formal investigation. Only one was there any result out of it. And my understanding is the person in that position is very, while he's a governor appointee, he is very non-ideological. He says, does this meet the law or not? And he is not looking to track things down. I'm just looking to horse it. And so, again, literally, I think of the big thing that happened, I think there's been exactly one case, not at our school, that was looked into, and I don't even remember which way it went. So, again, that's not the big thing. They are looking at, again, I continue to have to sign an affidavit of things we're doing related to DEI or not doing DEI. Chairs and directors have a document they submit. The main thing for you all to remember is that everything is open to an open records request. Emails, text, anything like that. If it's a potentially sensitive subject, do a phone call. Text, can you talk? Because if it's a sensitive subject, the open records requests, and we're seeing them from more and more. I'm not going to look at people who I know in this room have open records requests over things that have erupted at other universities, and then, hey, is that going on there, and stuff like that. So just remember that things and anything can be videoed. And pretty much every major case that I've seen, the end result is due to somebody being caught on film saying something. Is really been the things like that. This session, it's the preliminary stuff. The biggest thing they're looking at, apparently with higher ed, is funding models. And we may be switching to more of an outcomes funding model. Right now, everything is based on SCA, student credit hours. And so this session, they're talking about looking more at doing funding based on outcomes, graduation rates, retention, things like that. They did this for community colleges last session, and now it means community colleges send us students much quicker than they used to, because their outcome is sending a student to a four-year university. And so most likely, this is the session where this may finally happen. FYI, one of the top people in the Texas state system is one of the people on the task force working on this. So if they do move to a funding-based model, Texas State will actually have a say in it, things like that. Quickly, if we look at our budget, I mentioned tough, $50 million. Last legislation, HEAF is the thing to support building. We got every 10 years we get a big increase. One result is the university is looking at major renovations of the music building and major renovations of the theater center along the way. And those are long overdue. At the same time, the university is doing a very detailed space study, because again, we don't have enough space, so they're trying to analyze, do we have the right kind of space and things like that, and then using some of the HEAF money if we need to transform spaces, things like that. As I mentioned, RCM budget is on pause. We're really not going that route. We're using some principles. The second round of faculty instruction raises went into effect. That, again, the year before, if you got promoted to full, you got half your raise 1 year. Then the second half, that has gone into effect. And as I told you, this year, again, we had our first group that moved through with those raises that went on there, things like that. And just as an FYI, regardless of rank, promotion is 7%. So regardless of whether you're instruction, practice, it's 7%. And then typically, if we have merit raise at 3%, so typically in a year you get promoted, you see a 10% increase along the way. President, and this year, we had 38 faculty that were on temporary funding. They are now being moved to permanent funding. So I got $2 million more of permanent funding to move. And again, most of you had no idea if you were on temporary funding or not, but this just adds further stability to you in your position there, that we've got the permanent funding for that. The university mentioned they were moving some people to minimum salary. Some people asked me about this. They did an analysis, this CUPA analysis. This is national data that we use. And in the college, they determined 7 faculty were below this minimum threshold. There was no appeal process. There's no consulting. It was strictly a data analysis. And 2 days ago, they sent me the list of here's the 7 people in your college that will be getting a greater increase because of these CUPA data, things like that. But it wasn't a process. And next week, my office, Sonia, is we're going to be working on letters to let everybody know what their raise is and what their new salary is. Because between promotion, merit, minimum, or whatever, I want you all to get your letter of here's your raise and here's what your new salary is, and things like that. And again, overall, we are continuing to give raises while other universities are going through budget cuts, things like that. Again, a lot of this has been fueled by growth. We know we can't keep it up, but the president is committed. He wants to keep provide salary increases where he can. And he kind of gives you the detailed report of benefits and all the other things that go into it. Mention quickly, we already made this change. Again, as you notice this year, there's very few awards that actually get financial things with the presidential awards. It's the top, we only send one forward from each, instead of 2 in each category, we send one forward. If you don't win, my office provides $1,000. So 4 people who didn't win, they got $1,000 or about to get $1,000. Then the 2 who won got the university award on those things like that. The REP funding did double. We went up to $900,000 this past year. Kelly and team, and so that also meant those REP ones, you used to get 8,000 as the max, now it's 12,000 as the max, and 24,000 if you're a team. And again, we continue to be second each year. And as Kelly pointed out, science and engineering is usually number 1, but they're going to be splitting into 2 separate colleges, so we're hoping to become number 1 again, Kelly. Quickly, again, I know I'm running out of time. I knew this was going to be long. Advancement funding. This is going to be an increased emphasis from me and my office is on advancement and fundraising. We used to have a development officer assigned to us. Everything got centralized. Well, this year, I'm going to get a shared development officer. Me and liberal arts will have a development officer assigned to the college. We want to work on it. I get now dashboards of where we're at each week in terms of fundraising. But just to give you an idea, coming out of COVID, we typically average about 1.1 million a year. So we get 1.1 million, 1.1, 1.1. Last year, we ended up raising about $2.5 million. This year, again, close to $2.5 million. So we're doing a good thing. Now, one of the things on the university, part of how they calculate this, they do calculate estate gifts. If people is giving a planned gift, they include it in your yearly total. So last year, a woman I knew gave us $1 million estate gift and tried to do it. But on the other hand, and again, and obviously, you hope that these gifts don't come due for a while because these are people I know and love and care about. On the other hand, we have started to see some of these older ones. That last year, JMC had one that we weren't even aware of an estate gift. It came in as a $400,000 gift. Music got one that's about $350,000 that came into it all. But there's an oddity in how the university does things. Right now, our endowments are up to $20 million. And so, most universities give out 5% on their endowment. We give out 4%. Well, 4% of $20 million is $800,000. Well, the university does 4% off of a 3-year average. So instead of giving out $800,000 this year, I have $525,000 to give out, which is this strange oddity because they do a 3-year average. So like music got this $350,000 gift. Well, that's average of the previous 12 quarters. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 100,000, 0. So that $300,000 is giving out like $1,200 this year. So in the near future, we'll start to give out more. I'm having a meeting with advancement next week to kind of go through some of these things. And I will share with chairs and directors when I get this endowment sheet cleaned up that you can see all of your endowments, what the fair market value is. There are some errors on it, so I'm working with them to get it cleaned up, and then I will share that with things like that. And then I did just get back for the college, particularly for music, a $1.3 million endowment. This endowment is earmarked for music students, but they have to live in 6 counties, Victoria being the main anchor of it. The university took it over. I just got it back, and it'll go to music first, and then any other fine arts area that lives in those counties will also be eligible for those things, things like that. So technology support. We're going to look at changing how we provide technology support in the college. We're looking at 2 different plans. We'll be making a decision next week and then rolling out the details to all of you on it. But we want to provide better, more consistent technology support across the college. Pac-12, I mentioned on my thing, it's not just sports, but also the move to Pac-12 also changes academically, that now in the Pac-12, of the 8 football schools, 5 of them, including us now, are R1s. And they're actually, the pros are sharing different things. And you get strange things. The CEO of NVIDIA, Jackson Wang, his undergraduate is Oregon State. Well, he did a $50 million supercomputer thing there. Other Pac-12 schools can rent space on it if they want to, so rather than build their own. So there's going to be some weird academic enhancements that come with Pac-12, as well as bigger visibility. Again, if even not your sports fan, every Texas State football game is on TV, which means the name is out there in a lot more. There's going to be a lot of surveys this year. There's 2 big surveys coming this year. There's a Gallup survey this fall, and it's about a 12-question survey for faculty and staff. It's going to come out late September to early October. And the focus of this survey is what are the core conditions you need to thrive at work. So I want people to fill these things out. It's this Gallup survey. It's about 12 questions, September, October. And then in the spring, there's a bigger one, this Coach survey, which is just for faculty. There's 9 topics. It's a longer survey. But they really want to improve the quality of work life. The president has talked about TxState being an employer of choice. The biggest thing is financial, but there's these other factors. And so this other survey, they want to get all this data, other schools use it, of things we can do to provide a better quality of work life. The other thing is we may, as units, look at what do we want to start, stop, and continue. Again, there's been so many initiatives, so much things nonstop run. So maybe look at other things that we should stop doing. Things like that. For example, I just started to talk to Kelly. C3, is it time for us to sunset C3, do a revise or a sunset? C3, I don't know if it's serving the same purpose it did once. And so maybe this is something that we stop doing while we focus on some other things like that. I will again do donuts with the dean, juice with John. I'll do at least one a semester. I need to look at a couple days before I announce it. I'm also trying to find out when I might find out some of the grade DI stuff, if there's things like that. Again, it's designed to be a social thing, but again, last year, both times, we ended up talking about a lot of things that were just going on at the university, on things like that. So I will do it. I just need to look at my schedule and a couple things take place. Again, thank you all. I want us to have a great year. My closing advice is, let's try to avoid anticipatory anxiety. Instead, focus on the things that we can control. And I say, be kind, be respectful. Remember, email has no tone. I still want to put these up there and get people to read out what they think the tone says. Because I can create ones that can mean completely different things, but because we inject our own tone and we inject our own emotions into it. So if there is an issue, please pick up the phone, walk down the hall, talk to the colleague, rather than let it escalate into it all. Because so many of the things I've encountered here, I've discovered go back over 10 years, 15 years. Something that happened a long time ago, and it's festered. And so hopefully we can avoid that, things like that. Again, it's okay to disagree, but let's disagree in a calm, civilized, respectful manner. Again, I'm here to help you succeed, to help our staff succeed, to help our students succeed, and I'm going to do everything I can to, again, try to come to work spreading my positive vibes with my Dove chocolate. Thank you, Sonia. This is one of your things like that. And seriously, we're here to make a difference in students' lives. I'm so grateful to work with all of you. And just remember, when it's a success, we did it. When it doesn't work out, it's the damn dean's fault. Remember that. So thank you all very much. We rock. And there we go. So let's have a great year. Sonia, hey. Can we take a quick photo outside? This whole photo's old. Let's gather. We can gather quickly out front for a quick photo because I need to update this. So, what? Oh, can we do it here on stage? You think it's a little too hot? Okay. Let's gather.